top-notch hero. He's everyday people, defending our good, destroying our evil, protector of the ghetto, a cool type of fellow, shaking things up like a fresh bowl of jello. And nothing can save you if you're up to no good. You better seek the new superhero from the hood. Motion! You have no good fiction! You only want to listen to this motion picture meltdown!
Okay guys, question of the week to continue out Not So Superhero September is kind of having to do with the old comic trope of, do you save the person you love or do you save the group of innocent bystanders? And we'll start with you, Philip.
Well, I think the most likely outcome is that I probably would just fail to save anyone, because I'd just be having a really tough time deciding. But in reality, I probably don't know the people that are the important people that are dying, so I'd probably just say fuck them and just save the person that I actually care about.
Yeah.
Like, I'm pretty sure any human being would do that.
And then you just, like, live with that for the rest of your life.
Why would I care?
Because you're a superhero.
Dude, for all I know, those important people are actually secretly evil.
Hey, okay, I'm going to counter his statement there that, any normal person would do that. I would rescue them. No, it's basically...
It's not a numbers game.
It is a numbers game.
It kind of is, man.
It's not because... Okay.
You know what? The person
it's like what I was saying earlier. Outside of your 150-person bubble, every other person in the world doesn't exist to you. That's why we don't give a shit that people are starving in Africa. That's why we don't fucking care that people get bombed every single day. Because they aren't people to us.
Dude, I'm like imagining Philip doing like what are those things called where in basketball training where you like run back and you like tap the ground?
Suicides?
Yeah, suicides. I feel like Philip's doing suicides between the person he loves and the people that he's supposed to save. Like, God, no, I gotta save him. No, I gotta go back.
I would go to the biggest number of people and then flip off
the one person that's gonna die.
She was gonna break up with me anyway.
That's a pretty healthy way to look at it. It's like, this is the person I love the most in the world, but fuck them because they were probably gonna fuck me over anyways.
It's a numbers game, man.
Hey, I'm a villain at heart.
Well, there you go.
It's true. Joel, what do you think, man?
I'm going to have to go with save the large group of people.
Yeah.
Mainly because, A, you're a superhero and sacrifice and pain is, your bread and butter. Also, once you get over the loss of this person you love, the fact that you saved that many people is going to get you laid so much.
That's true. You have a big pool of people to pull from.
Because we all know the main goal of being a superhero is getting laid as much as you can.
Depends which superhero you are. If you're Iron Man, it totally is.
It's totally definitely the goal.
If you're Batman, it's just like stewing in your mansion alone, rather.
Which is, if you lose your loved one, it works out perfect. Because then you can just be pissed for all eternity about that.
Do I get to go and save like 2 or 3 of the not so ugly people and then save the person that I love?
See, now you're trying to cheat on your own fucking question.
You're trying to split the difference. You can't do it, man.
You're like, well, what is exactly the situation? It's like, no, there's no situation. It's just you get to pick. Save this one or this one. That's all.
Just run over and pick the few people that don't look like terrorists. And
there's 2 dump trucks positioned full of black mambas about to dump them onto either a pile of people that are important or your girlfriend or whatever.
That's brutal too because black mambas like straight chase people.
Yeah, they would all be dead. There's no question. You can only save one.
Can we at least agree to save the black mambas?
Well, they don't need saving.
What about the environment, man?
Yeah, I don't think they're very crucial to the environment.
Is the environment going to give you a blowjob? No, the environment will not give you a blowjob. So fuck the environment.
Hey, I don't know if black mambas are capable of giving blowjobs or not.
I don't know that.
It seems like it'd be pretty painful,
but they are dick shaped.
That's true. It's almost like a living pocket pussy at that point.
Okay, listen.
Nature's fleshlight.
Wow.
I have a. Hopefully, this is a pretty decent segue into our episode today. So, okay. Welcome to Motion Picture Meltdown. I'm one of your hosts, Steven the Roast Rosenberg.
Phil the Kill Collins.
And DeHart.
And we've got our special guest, Joel Mengel, right? Mengel or Mengel?
Mengel.
Mengel.
What? You know how to pronounce his name. Is it Mengel?
He doesn't know how to pronounce anything.
Mengel is so much better sounding, though.
It doesn't matter which one. You know which one it is.
I know I do.
It sounds like a personal hygiene product for men. It's Mengel. By men.
So,
are you experiencing low testosterone? Mengel.
Is your hair dirty? Mengel.
Apply directly to testicles.
Yeah.
Anybody's testicles. Yours, it doesn't matter.
So, Joel, welcome back. You haven't been with us since our Stephen King podcast. Are you happy to be back?
Absolutely. I didn't realize that floppy cunt was going to have such a long-lasting effect on your
floppy
show.
cunt. Hashtag floppy cunt is trending right now.
It is. So this is my segue. DeHart mentioned that black mambas were cock-shaped.
Okay.
Last night, he and I had the pleasure of watching a movie called Galaxina,
Yes.
which had something, along with another movie called
Yes. Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Dark Knight of the Scarecrow. Correct. Now, in Galaxina, there was something that was cock-shaped, right?
Yes.
And guess who was in Dark Knight of the Scarecrow?
Larry
Drake, who is also in
Darkman.
Darkman. So let's start with Darkman.
That was really bad.
I had no idea where you're going with this.
Dude, I didn't at first
think
either.
Cock-shaped actors?
Well, there were a few of them, but this was my issue. I was thinking about Larry Drake being in Galaxina, but then I realized that he wasn't in Galaxina, and he was in the second awful movie that we watched of the night.
You come over and bring you like some Ben Gay, because you really stretched with that.
Yeah, I did. Please bring some men gel over for
Yeah.
me, and I'll apply it to myself.
I walked right into that one.
Okay, so let's start with Darkman from 1990, directed by Sam Raimi, who is notable from Evil Dead, Evil Dead 2, Army of Darkness, Spider-Man's 1
Plural.
through 3,
Yeah.
the Spider-Men,
The Tobey Maguire Spider-Mans.
and what's the one that he did not too long ago? Drag Me to Hell, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So
That's
this
been a while.
This stars. That was his last movie, though. He
Really?
No, he did the Wizard of Oz movie.
Oh yeah, that blew though. That doesn't count.
That doesn't count. It sucks ass.
Does it not fucking count?
But Drag Me to Hell doesn't count either, though, because
I
that
was about to
sucked
say,
ass
that probably
too.
sucked also.
So this stars Liam Neeson as Darkman, as well as Frances McDormand from Fargo and The Man Who Knew Too Little, and she's a pretty decent actress. Both Liam Neeson and Frances McDormand are kind of a good 1-2 punch. So I was kind of surprised that this.
The thing that would surprise you is how horrible they are in it. They're both very shitty.
Yeah, like
It's like the 90s are trying to teach me, oh, you know all those actors that you think are good? They actually suck dick. It's just that they managed to be good in 1 or 2 movies later. Those are the only ones you've seen.
Hold on. They had to work at something to become good at it. And this movie isn't really all that bad.
I don't think so either.
It is.
It's real stupid.
It is really stupid. But I'm pretty sure it's meant to be.
Exactly.
Oh, well, yeah, I mean, they didn't do anything in here on accident. It's just, it was a poor decision.
It's a total
It
Sam.
shows unwisely.
It is a 100% Sam Raimi movie. Like,
Yeah, I mean, even complete with Bruce Campbell.
yeah, everything about this movie is so fucking just screams Sam Raimi to me. Like, from the gore up to the shitty hand props, like everything about this fucking movie.
What about the
is
rage
amazing.
freakouts?
Yeah, I mean it was
Darkman
just,
rage.
I mean, but how fucking similar was that to Evil Dead 2?
Or are we the Darkman?
Right, or both of them. So
I think we can agree. It's very much a Sam Raimi movie. And it's that I wouldn't call that a
in the
positive attribute.
No, actually, that's what I was going to say. That doesn't make it good at all. That's the problem with this movie. It starts with such a serious tone, and it's very off-putting because the movie starts with a serious tone, and then all of a sudden he just goes, fuck it, I'm going to take some acid and keep directing the film. And you have no idea what the fuck is going on here.
I think that serious tone you're talking about is only like the first minute and a half. Up until
But I was invested in that minute.
up until like
until the cars started launching themselves out of crates.
before that.
Where did those cars come from?
Yeah.
Even before that, there's the thug that has a wooden leg. The wooden
Yeah.
leg is ripped off, and there's a fucking
machine gun.
Uzi inside
Yeah.
of it.
I don't know. I guess maybe I went into it. I'd seen this when I was younger. I remember liking.
I thought it was way more serious whenever I was young. I didn't realize how terrible, first of all, and how dumb.
Well, I
Just
didn't
dumb.
when I was younger. I didn't know Sam Raimi directed it because I didn't really give
You
a
didn't
shit
know who the
about
fuck
Sam
Sam
Raimi
Raimi
was.
was.
Yeah, I mean, I knew he did Evil Dead, but other than that, and Spider-Man. But basically, I went into this movie basically expecting it to be like an Evil Dead type movie, so I wasn't really disappointed in it whatsoever. I kind of knew it was going to be slapstick.
I never said I was disappointed. I just said it sucked.
I guess it depends. I guess it
And
depends
we're
on.
saving the disappointment for the next movie.
Yeah.
Why don't we go ahead and talk about the plot of it?
Yeah.
We've just literally only been talking about our reaction.
Well, before that, I just want to say that I think that there's a certain group of people out there that really enjoy Sam Raimi for the type of director he is. Like,
Oh, yeah.
he doesn't...
He has a following.
Right,
For
well,
sure.
and not only that, but his movies are all a certain way. Like, they don't... He
Except
doesn't...
for Spider-Man.
Well, this was the predecessor to Spider-Man. Like, it was... If you notice with the directors that we've done, this guy, Sam Raimi, went on... he did Darkman because Marvel wouldn't give him a fucking deal to do to do any of the...
Well, he wanted to do
movies.
The Shadow, but he couldn't get the fucking rights.
Right, well...
Which is this is actually a fuckload better than The Shadow.
Yeah, I agree with that. But what I'm saying is Marvel wouldn't give him the rights to it, so he did this movie, and then they gave him the rights to Spider-Man after this one. James Gunn started out with Super, and eventually went to Guardians of the Galaxy. And then Joe Johnston originally did The Rocketeer, and then went on to do Captain America. So it's like, this is like a building block for his next bigger, better superhero
Yeah,
movie.
but whereas Captain America and Guardians of the Galaxy are good.
Spider-Man?
Yeah, the third Spider-Man movie was a steaming pile.
Well,
of
that
garbage.
one was asshole wrapped up in bacon, but
Right.
the first two I thought
they
were
should
pretty
they
good.
should get better, not way
No,
worse.
no, I agree.
You mean
with
asshole mignon?
I'm going to totally use that. You know.
You fixed me a giant plate of asshole mignon.
You eat the capoo.
All right, let's talk about the plot. Go ahead, Philip.
Okay.
You want to talk about the plot? Go for it.
Yeah, like, it's my idea. We've never
actually-
talked about the plot before.
We weren't going to hit on it this time. Not this time.
Okay. Well, there's a scientist, and it's his job to invent skin that will not melt for whatever reason. That's his goal in life. And he can't figure out why it doesn't last longer than a certain number of minutes, and then they realize it's because of the light. It's sensitive to light, so after 99 minutes, it turns to goo. Okay, so...
Sorry.
That-
Sorry, I'm just thinking 99 bitches now. After you said after 99 minutes.
Yeah, exactly. So, because of a memo that this guy, for whatever reason, he's using his own company to send memos about payoffs, which is just the most bullshittest thing I've ever fucking heard.
Yeah, that makes
The
zero
whole
sense.
the evil villains plot of this movie is so fucking ridiculous.
It reminded me very much of when you were talking about the Rocketeer, and you said he just left a little post-it note on his picture that said, "I'm the Rocketeer."
Yeah.
See, to me, it wasn't that crazy because I remember reading that Jerry Springer, when he was mayor of Cleveland, tried to pay for a hooker with a check. So that level of stupidity didn't really faze me. I was like, oh, that makes sense.
Well, just imagine this. He leaves this memo laying around however she got a hold of it to begin with. She the scientist Liam Neeson, his wife is a lawyer girlfriend is a lawyer, and she somehow just randomly finds this memo. I mean, it's a fucking interdepartmental memo within this company that has like very sensitive information on it. It's like, okay, somehow he fucked up and sent that around. He gets it back by blowing up this guy's lab. Mm-hmm. And then he just leaves it on his fucking desk. So she finds it again. She's like a super sleuth for shit that's obvious and right out in the open.
Oh, yeah. It reminded me, I remember listening to a podcast, I'm not sure which one it was, but it was talking about the cruelty, I think it was Nerds on Film, were talking about the cruelty of animals in film or whatever, and this lady who worked for the department of people that make sure that shit doesn't go on, was sleeping with the director of, I think, Life of Pi, and was sitting there emailing out of the company email about knowing about all the crazy, like, skeezy shit going on behind the scenes in that movie.
Right.
About, like, animal abuse and whatnot. And then she was like, how did they find out that I knew about that?
It's like, oh.
Okay.
Try not emailing them. You're using company email that you fucking know that they monitor. They probably monitor every keystroke.
About things that they clearly look for.
Yeah. It's your job specifically, and you're clearly banging this guy, and there's clearly animal abuse happening. So it's really difficult to figure out.
To be fair, though, I think if you didn't abuse a tiger, it wouldn't respect you.
Probably not.
That was the same reasoning they used for Any Which Way But Loose, that fucking orangutan.
The respect
And
one?
The orangutan didn't respect him, and that's why he died.
That's why you had to shoot him.
He probably died because he was driving a car. Which is very unhealthy for monkeys.
That and the cattle prods they used on him caused a heart attack. Let's not go there.
Yeah. Alright, back on track, sorry.
So, as the scientist of skin, he naturally has tons of crazy like lab equipment sitting around. And when they come to whoop his ass and steal the memo back that's just sitting in his lab, once again, you just take this very sensitive, very important information and just lay in it any damn where.
Yeah.
Who fucking cares? So they go directly to his lab, knows exactly where he lives and everything, and kick his ass, shoot his Asian sidekick, and then
They ventilate him, actually.
and then dunk him into the pink dunk tank of goo.
First they
Of ghoul.
First, they burn off his hands, basically. He grabs those things.
These two like electrode
what would you
things.
call it? Yeah, some kind of electrode.
We're gonna make up what
posts.
they're actually called because we have no fucking
They're the things
clue.
from Frankenstein, basically.
Yeah.
Essentially, yeah.
Just imagine
Coils
something
or whatever.
that's copper and it can electrocute
Yeah.
you. He grabs hold of them, he burns his hands to nothing, and then they dunk him into the soup.
To be
Oh,
fair,
is that what happens? Because I thought somehow through the chemicals it turned his hands into clay, and then they burnt it. Because that's what it fucking looked like.
You're thinking
This
about
movie had a
Batman.
$16 million budget. What the fuck are you doing using $5 techniques? Where the fuck did that $16 million go?
Hey, Sam Raimi. Sam Raimi's the king of saving money, man.
well, dude, they had
They had
six-
to get Bruce Campbell a cameo at the end. That's
they
what
had
cost all that
6
money.
writers. That's
Yeah.
probably where a lot of the money went.
I don't understand. I guess maybe if
6
they were.
writers, and this is what they fucking ended with?
Yeah, I was about to say, how did they end up with this? With 6, the worst 6 writers, so they cobble together some semblance of a plot somehow.
That may be more or less what they did. They was probably
Yeah.
like, here's 6 different parts. Write your
write each part, and then who knows what will happen? Maybe he'll act one way in one scene, and then as soon as somebody calls him a freak in a different scene, he'll be Superman.
Oh, that's because the Darkman rage is kicking in.
Yeah, he just basically needs a sidekick that'll follow him around and call him a freak whenever he needs to be superpowered.
So let's talk about the fact that what blew up the apartment was something that could never happen.
Right, I mean, the way those drinking birds work is that they reach down, take a drink of the water, and then that causes them to fall back down because the water's dripping back down into
Right.
their little reservoir. Well, if there's no water, it doesn't fucking work.
Not to mention, have you ever pressed one of those buttons on one of those like butane flame torch lighters or whatever?
You have to press it like motherfucker.
Yeah, yeah.
Well, I
dude, you have to,
mean,
like-
even if it was the easiest possible one, the bird would have never reached it.
No.
no,
It would, like, do they know nothing about physics? Like, this is a fundamental thing about how this little drinking bird works. You can't even get it to do anything without, and they would have had to known that.
and they couldn't have just done something like throw a Zippo.
Right, I mean, any other classic thing.
Or just let the
We're
bomb.
arguing about fucking physics of a drinking little birdie thingy in discussing Darkman. This is
Everybody
just
knows.
not a good start.
Everybody knows that little drinking bird could not possibly hit that little button.
It's not It's not that we're discussing the physics of the little drinking bird. We're discussing the bullshit, the sheer amount of exploding bullshit.
Well, I mean, they just are laughing in the face of the people that don't question that. Like, because they know that most people won't. They're like, oh, yeah, it's one of those drinking bird things. Eventually, it goes lower and lower. It's like, no,
No,
you're
it would
fucking
actually
wrong.
work the reverse.
It goes the opposite direction.
Because it's like basically they have it set up on like, oh, this is gonna work like a pendulum. Except for a pendulum doesn't swing wider and wider; it swings narrow and narrow. So it's going
Right,
in
because it's losing energy. There's
Yeah.
nothing powering this little bird except for water, which it doesn't have any
okay.
of.
We really need to move on.
This
from
is
this.
this is
Clearly
This is the
powered by
most-
movie
this
magic.
is physics.
This is the most crucial part about this movie.
This is physics picture meltdown.
Yeah.
Or motion physics meltdown. There we go.
Motion Physics Meltdown. There you go.
Today we're going to be discussing Newton's first law of thermodynamics and Darkman.
What about, okay, so now the apartment explodes and his body just flies out of the fucking top of the window.
Apparently,
You
he
just
was
hear-
inside of a cannon inside of the exploding
You
apartment.
just hear him go, ah!
He gets exploded all the way out to the river, wherever the hell that is.
Like, she's standing on the sidewalk.
And she doesn't even see it.
She doesn't notice a flying, flaming body fly over her head.
Oh my goodness.
Did anyone else think that maybe which movie came out first, Darkman or Die Hard 2?
Die Hard 2 was 88.
All right, was it me or did it look like they stole that scene when he like ejects himself? McClane ejects himself out of the plane following the explosion. He's like, yeah. Did it look a lot like that?
Yes.
Maybe a little bit, but McClane wasn't on fire.
Yeah. If there was an explosion powerful enough to throw you, we'll just say at least 100 yards, your body would just be filled with jelly because your organs would be nothing.
Wait, you know what?
If there were even body parts left to look at.
That one part is so dumb that they actually, it's like in the connections version section of IMDb, they actually re-edited that into the very end of an episode of Home Improvement. Where Tim the Toolman
They knew
Taylor,
exactly how terrible it was.
Tim the Toolman Taylor accidentally blows up a gas station. It goes launching through the fucking air on fire and lands in a fucking lake.
Of course.
Why is it that, like, in the last few weeks, the best things about the movies we've been doing is just that Danny Elfman's done the soundtrack?
I think it's because he does... If it's an American movie, Danny Elfman probably did the soundtrack. If it's an Italian movie, it's Ennio Morricone.
He has the same attitude as DeHart. For him, it's totally a numbers game. He doesn't care about the lives of the ruining of the lives of the people that he cares about. He just wants to get as many soundtracks written as possible.
Danny Elfman, you ruined so many lives with Darkman. So many lives.
He's just so greedy. He just wants his money.
Money!
I had to do it. I'm sorry.
Oh, shit.
Okay, so then he just totally takes a fucking Phantom of the Opera leap down into the sewers. And...
No. We're not skipping over the scientific bullshit that happens in the burn ward.
Okay. Oh, yeah, alright.
The thing that gives him his superpowers, which isn't anything to do with the exploding scientific lab experiment, which you would have thought, oh, of course, that's where he gets his superpowers from. No, it's from the burn ward that just disconnects his brain from the rest of his nervous system, causing him to not be able to feel anything, which causes his emotions to be superpowered, and then if he gets upset, he becomes super strong, because his endorphins just flow like, I don't know, things that flow a lot.
Rivers.
Yeah. A little side note for you. I just was looking this up. Apparently, Sam Raimi's brother, Ivan, who's a doctor, helped write draft 2 through 4, and Sam wanted to make sure that all the medical aspects and scientific elements were as authentic as possible.
Well, they hit a home run with the...
wrong, then.
What fucking world do they live with that is fucking authentic?
It's the burn lab that literally just creates supervillains. Like, you take somebody that has had everything taken away from them, essentially, and then you take away their ability to feel anything, and then just skyrocket their emotions off the chart, and then strap them down to this thing and just wait for them to hulk out of it, and then run away.
Why is he spinning? Like
and they're all homeless people that no one gives a shit about. I don't know! The whole thing makes no fucking sense. What? Have you ever seen a burn ward, Sam Raimi? They don't try to torture you.
Super villain training center. Just like...
I'd love to see the walkthrough for first day employees there. Hello, I'm Skeletor. I'm going to be giving you your tour today. This is where we create Darkman.
Yeah. This is like a little set I want as a kid.
Darkman and the Homeless Avengers?
No. I mean the supervillain creation lab.
Yeah.
Like I feel like that's just a creepy crawler set or something.
Right, exactly. It's like, just take someone who has nothing and then take away that little thing that they still have left.
Speaking of the creepy crawlers, dude, he's 3D printing fucking skin.
Yeah.
No.
They're just now getting to that.
Yeah.
We're forgetting about the amazing technology of being able to scan a photograph and it just magically creates a 3D model of it. I forgot about all the times where I took photographs and then I flipped the photograph over and the back of the head was on the back.
Didn't somebody ask you about that one
Yeah,
time?
they did.
Yeah, I was going to say, somebody asked you if you could take a picture and then basically make it another picture from that picture.
Yeah. It's like, is there any way we could flip this picture over so we could see the back of it, so that we could see this donkey and this Amish guy walking towards us instead of away? It's like, no, you fucking moron.
You're not making that up, are you?
No, I'm not at all. That's a real
This is
fucking
why
thing.
We can't have nice things.
Exactly.
I remember.
And this is why pictures can't be scanned into a computer and they just magically create a 3D model of it. I mean, they could create an approximate model, just guessing of what a head would be shaped like. It's so preposterous.
Sam Raimi took a huge element out of the character Chameleon from Spider-Man for this character. Like, I mean, it's very, very similar. Chameleon was basically a supervillain that could make himself look like whoever the fuck he wanted to. Hence,
so Darkman was invented for this movie?
Yeah, he created Darkman.
Oh, cool.
So
that's probably why it's so bad.
But he basically took that character from Spider-Man, gave him a duster and a hat, and then fucking combined that with the Phantom of the Opera story. Yep. You know, kind of like put the love interest in there. And had him being ugly and ashamed of his face and hiding it by putting a mask on it and whatnot. So it is original, but on the other spectrum of things, it's just completely just a blended bunch of shit that he likes.
Yeah, I was gonna say, anything's original if it's terrible enough, because no one else would have done it because it's fucking terrible. If I just shredded up all of your comic books and then glued some random pieces together that I found, that would be original, but it would be shit.
Yeah, but you'd be one of those assholes that would be like, that's art.
Why would I be one of those assholes? Fuck you.
Holy shit, this took a dark turn.
Well, we are talking about Darkman.
Yeah, it's true.
Oh, god damn it. I should, I suppose, get off my we hate puns high horse. I'm sorry.
So, his plan, as far as I could tell, was to steal enough money from this, like, mobster guy, and then he could use that to create better skin, like, that would be able to withstand light, and then he could have permanently nice skin and not look like a crazy monster. And it's like, oh, that's a great plot. Except for, he steals a shitload of money and doesn't do a single fucking thing with it.
Yeah.
Nothing.
What
He's
was-
still hanging out in the fucking warehouse that he just broke into.
I can't remember
It's
what
not
was
keeping
making...
your overhead low. That's
Yeah,
why
that's
I'm
what
hanging out-
I'm saying. What was it the
What
temperature
did he buy with
changes
that
it?
money?
What?
Was it the temperature that changed the mask? And
No, it's light.
No, it's
Oh,
light.
light,
It's
light,
just
okay.
light exposure.
Well,
Even artificial light.
Here's an
apparently.
idea. Sunblock.
Or move to Alaska for fucking 6 months out of the year.
That's not that bad of an idea.
Or how about, since you have a magical 3D printer that just can print you an endless number of faces, just have it do that and just replace them as soon as one melts off. Who gives a shit? I think we're ignoring all the other technologies that he's invented here that are obviously way superior to be... It's like, who gives a shit if it only lasts for 99 minutes? Stupid asshole.
Yeah, I mean, he could be working at movie studios and just printing people new faces.
Yeah. Any of these technologies would be worth billions. Or even trillions.
Oh, maybe. But yeah, so
He
now
goes in the category of The Fly, where he has an amazing technology that he just doesn't bother to use.
him and Seth Brundle from The Fly.
Oh, yeah.
Brendel Fly.
Him
Brundle.
and Seth Brundle are fucking tag team partners.
Yeah. The scientists that invent really badass shit but aren't happy with it for whatever reason.
Well, to be fair, Darkman got his fucking face blown off.
Yeah.
Seth Brundle was just an asshole.
And then somebody turned him into a
To be
supervillain.
fair, at the end of The Fly, Brendel got his face blown off, too. So,
It's true.
It was the end, though. Darkman was the
His face had
beginning.
already melted off, though, at that point. Well, anyways.
Okay, I think the main problem for this for me, besides the dumb story points, because obviously we got to forgive a lot of those if we're going to have a movie.
It's true.
But
Especially a Sam Raimi movie. And,
yeah, but it's Durant.
Larry Drake, right?
Yeah.
He's the guy who played...
It's like
Dr. Giggles?
Yeah.
yeah, and he also played a retarded guy on L.A. Law for
And-
fucking years.
And a retarded guy in Dark Knight of the Scarecrow.
Yes, I know. It's like he does not look like a villain. He doesn't act like a villain. There's nothing villainous about him. He's kind of an asshole, and he likes to cut off people's fingers, which I guess is that's not a nice thing to
It's
do.
kind of
But
villainy. He looks like a big dummy, basically.
he is a big dummy. Or at least that's how he's made all his money.
Yeah.
He just has this look like he really should not be playing like major villains or major bad guys. He gives this look like he should be in like that Kevin Bacon movie, The Woodsman, which is just about like child molesters. He has that child diddler look.
which is funny because that's what he was accused of in that movie we were watching
Oh
last
yeah,
night.
it's like he looks like somebody who could.
Fucking A.
It's like I think the ideal job for that character face is manager at a grocery store.
Yeah.
Yep.
I'm okay. He's big. He's a big guy, so I'm okay with him being like a side henchman.
He's not really that big.
He's a pretty large man.
I mean,
He's probably just as smart, though, as, like, the guy from Batman that just carries around the
the
boombox.
boombox. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like
He
he's
could be
just
that guy.
he's just a henchman. He's henchman number 2.
Yeah, exactly.
yeah.
He's not main villain who has, like, really scary, like, character traits of cutting people's fingers off.
Right.
And he's very precise with a fucking grenade launcher.
And
Oh,
he's
yeah.
precise with
Like
everything.
you need to be precise with that.
Did you see him, how precise he was with the gun in the opening scene where he was just Just shooting the
He
fucking
was just
drivers in the
standing and
face.
just blowing people away.
Well, yeah, I mean, there's random cars exploding out of boxes, driving around. You gotta be precise.
Yeah, none of the scenes they ever explain to you what the fuck was supposed to have been happening. It's like all these mobsters show up in the first scene, and they're all like, "You have to submit to a strip search," and they all have to get all their weapons taken away. It's like, okay, thing number one, why would they allow that to happen? Why would they go there directly into a fucking ambush that they know is an ambush?
Well, it was supposed to be some kind of deal.
I don't even give a shit.
Was.
If I'm a mobster and somebody tells me to throw down my gun, I'm gonna just be a bigger mobster and say, "You throw down your fucking gun."
Fucking guns. Exactly.
I will stand there for 20 minutes holding a gun at each other.
Which is what would have. Well, none of this would have happened. We're just going ahead and say nobody walks around with a peg leg / machine gun.
That guy does.
Except for that guy and the girl from fucking that zombie movie.
Machine Gun? No, I don't know.
No, I know what he's talking about. It's
Planet Terror?
Planet Terror.
Okay, yeah.
I like how I can just chime in every few seconds with, hey, random information right now.
So, now it's revenge mode for Liam Neeson.
Yep.
You know, he goes into, well, first he grabs the guy with the glasses that was giggling the entire time, who shot his little Asian buddy, who shot, what's his name? Short Round.
I was going to say Wong. Popular Asian name.
Yeah, I'm like 70% sure his name is Wong. If we look in the credits, it's probably Wong.
Dude, that was one of his most brutal deaths, I think. Just holding that dude's fucking head up over the sewer, or out of the sewer, rather, and...
Oh, yeah.
Just letting him get hit by cars.
Well, all the cars just seemingly started going faster and faster, which obviously I think was just like, oh god, they're getting closer and closer. But then that, like...
Or it's just poor filmmaking.
And then that semi just straight splatters his head.
Dude, this movie is like... It's essentially set in Traumaville.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if those people out there, it's like, oh, extra points.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably so.
I was super surprised they didn't show the head splattering, though. Like, I was really thinking that...
This is a studio movie. They don't show a whole lot of head explosions in studio movies.
Yeah.
But
Also,
explosions put asses in the chairs.
There you go.
Yeah, but...
Callback.
I mean, it's true, though.
I know, it's true.
Like, you walk into a Raimi movie that's just usually filled with pus and gore
continuous gore
and
nothing
guts
but
falling
that.
out of people's asses and
Well,
stuff.
he's got to lose some of that. It's like whenever Peter Jackson started doing major motion pictures. It's like, he can't do continuous gore the
It's
entire
kid
movie.
stuff.
Yeah, I guess you're right. And it makes me sad.
Yep.
Yeah.
I am sad Seagal.
Sad Seagal.
I just thought it was interesting that the most brutal death in the movie, the actor playing that guy who got his head squished, is actually Sam Raimi's brother.
What's his name?
Ted Raimi.
Ted. Yeah, he works with him in pretty much all of his movies, I'm pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure he's that brother that has no drive in life, but he's like, hey, you got anything that I could do on set, or like anything at all? Like, I'll just go get water, or I'll be the guy that gets his head ran over, anything. And it's like, all right, fuck Ted, Jesus.
He's like Buster from Arrested Development.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, brother, what you working on?
I actually do think Ted Raimi helps with some of the
I'm sure
production and things like that,
Yeah,
but I mean, he's been with him since Evil Dead. Him, Bruce Campbell.
Right, but it doesn't seem like he ever does a damn thing on his own.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he has no drive to ever accomplish anything. He just wants to help out on all of his brother's movies.
Yeah.
He was in Xena for a while. Or did Ted Raimi?
Wow.
I thought that was Bruce Campbell, wasn't it?
No, he
Bruce
had a role
Campbell,
in it.
Bruce Campbell was in it as King of the Thieves.
Yeah,
right.
And I think, yeah, you're right. I'm pretty sure he was too.
And he played like King of the Idiots or something, Zoxys. How the fuck do I know that?
I don't know.
No idea. It's been at least 15 years since I've seen an episode of Xena.
Yeah, and I think I know I was more of a Hercules guy.
I liked them both.
Yeah.
I was into them both, and I would watch Xena just because of that one glimmering hope that maybe Hercules would be in that episode.
Yeah, and he was in a few of them.
Yeah, he was totally in some episodes of Xena.
I always watched Xena with the hopes that they would finally, like Xena and her little friend would just finally make out. Like every week, I got a heart on the size of St. Louis going, let it happen. Let it happen. It's going to be magical. Come on.
He's like Joel's just sitting there on his couch with his pants around his ankles and his fucking both hands filled with cocoa butter, and he's just disappointed after every episode. He just wipes the cocoa butter off.
Yep, that's exactly how it works.
It's a very greasy couch.
Must have been real happy whenever that, what was it, Spartacus? came out?
Dude, I came buckets. Buckets.
Just Lucy Lawless.
You might as well check the ceiling. I'm young, baby. I'll fucking, yeah.
Was it us talking that Lucy Lawless should definitely be in the Lady Expendables?
I can't remember. We were talking about the Lady Expendables, I think, but we were also talking about the Expandables, which was also
Which has Val Kilmer.
Val Kilmer and fucking
Sad
Steven
Seagal.
Seagal. Yeah,
Okay,
Wait,
so
did you guys already make that joke?
yeah, the Expandables with Val Kilmer. And...
Yeah.
God damn it, I thought I was being clever, too.
okay, so next death was big fat bald guy.
Yeah, he gets tossed out a window under a cab.
Oh,
Because
yeah, enjoy your flight.
yeah,
Puts his ticket in his
Okay,
pocket.
Darkman is still disguised as the guy that he's just set up. They went to the guy's apartment. They throw him out the fucking window. He lands on a car directly in front of Darkman, who's
Dressed
like
as the bald
guy.
guy.
Yeah,
just
it's like,
sitting outside his fucking.
why would he just hang around?
Because he wanted to have the satisfaction of seeing that guy get killed. But what you don't understand is why didn't he just break his fucking neck and just walk away? Because it doesn't do a damn thing with that fucking money. He just takes all these unnecessary risks
Well,
just
okay.
for no reason.
He wanted the big dummy to see that. He wanted the big dummy to think that the other guy just took the money.
But why?
and ran.
Who cares?
Well, because it keeps him off of his tail. He didn't want him on his. He didn't want him thinking there was.
He can just snap his neck and it's like, oh well, somebody must have been pissed off at bald guy. Just as likely. Just as fucking likely.
You're ruining the movie, Philip.
I just want him to do something with all this cash that he's like taking all these risks to get. Because he has to like fool people into believing he's a bald guy, and then he fool people into believing he's the retarded guy.
Hey,
So you just need him to. You just need to see that deleted scene of him disguised as Hugh Hefner with a bunch of playgirls throwing money everywhere.
Anything at all, that would be perfect.
dude, the money goes towards the sequel.
sequel
That's
that never happened?
both. No, there were two
There's two
sequels.
Oh,
to
that's
the
right, there
movie.
was Darkman.
Direct to
You
video.
mean, but I don't think they can take the money from fiction. It's not like Last Action Hero where they can just take the money from the movie world and then really pay for the next movie with it.
Are you sure?
I feel
I'm not
like
100% sure. But
I do feel
I
like
think maybe Sam Raimi thought that he could.
I feel like Liam Neeson made more money fictionally in this movie than Sam Raimi made out of these three, or out of the first movie and the two sequels made in real life.
Yeah, probably so. We have no way of knowing how much money could be in one of those briefcases. It could be any amount of money. It's like, oh, I made the drop for this nameless money that we don't really even know what it's for. Sam Raimi, you suck.
So now he frames Big Dummy, and
He's framing everyone, but it's like, you're not going to... They clearly knew who it was.
right.
It's so stupid.
Well, the police didn't. The police thought it was him whenever he was framing him.
Right.
Well,
But he
I'm
just
ta-
got right out of jail because it was just a meaningless charge. It's
Yeah.
like, oh, you held up a grocery store? Yeah, we let people out of jail all day for that.
All day.
All day.
Yeah. So, and at this point, Liam Neeson is dressed up as Larry Drake and is at Little China
I guess.
and trying to get money
money.
from that guy. Drug money. Yeah.
Yeah, money.
Which he does get. He has secured so far 2 briefcases of money that apparently he just didn't want them to have.
Right.
Well, you know, fuck them. They burned his face off.
It's true. They did.
You would think he would just get some guns, and as soon as he dresses up like the main villain, just be like, oh, hey, can I borrow your gun? Yeah, thanks. And then just blow their fucking heads off.
He's a scientist, man.
He's a terrible
not
scientist.
He's not some kind of crazy action hero yet.
Yeah, we gotta wait to the end of the movie till he's given up everything, and he becomes Darkman. Call me Darkman.
Yeah, he gets his
Darkman.
name. That's how you know you have a true superhero
Origin
what do you
story?
call them? Series.
No, okay.
If you wait till the end of the first movie to come up with your name.
Yeah, it's that spider guy.
Can we talk
The
about
human spider, right?
Can we talk about Darkman's shitty ass fucking face makeup, please?
Oh, you mean the teeth that are glued to the outside of his face that are just like flopping around?
Yeah, dude. So, and
That
his
shit
face.
scared me. That scared the shit out of me as a kid. I couldn't fucking. Every time it was on there, I'm like turning my head when I was 8, and
Because-
then I fucking grew my pair of balls out and went, oh well, that fucking sucks.
Because his
That
teeth
looks
are like
like garbage.
clacking and stuff when he's talking. It doesn't make any sense. If he didn't have lips, he wouldn't be able to pronunciate half the fucking shit that he's saying. As he, have you ever tried not moving your lips whenever you tried talking?
Or just pull your lips back and try to talk?
Yeah.
Fucking, it's fucking terrible. I
It
can't
sounds like
say a
shit.
goddamn thing.
I wish everyone could see our fucking stupid faces we're making right now.
Let me tell you something, everybody.
If you guys need to know, just whatever Jim Carrey movie that is, whenever he gets crazy cottonmouth and starts... It's Me, Myself, and Irene.
Yeah, yeah.
When he gets crazy cottonmouth and he doesn't have any lips anymore and he tries talking at that point, that's what Liam Neeson would have sounded like.
Fire
Fire
Marshal
Marshal
Bill.
Bill.
Yeah, exactly.
Which would be a good segue into the next movie. But we're not there yet.
We've still got more to say. Yeah, those fucking teeth. There's one scene where he's like laughing like maniacally, and they're just like flopping
Yeah.
around like loosely. It would just fall out.
He's Skeletor laughing.
He has so many different personalities.
So fucking stupid.
Yeah, it's balls.
So,
And it's so inconsistent. The makeup looks so different scene to scene.
yeah.
You know, why didn't they just put one more strip of gauze? And that would cover his mouth, and you would just see, like, oh, but we assume that he doesn't have lips back there.
Less is more, alright?
Yes.
We don't need the flapping, obviously fake, terrible looking Halloween teeth.
Yeah,
We can just
yeah.
pretend, alright?
And also, let's just
sad.
keep putting the same disgusting bandages back all over our open wounds so that our face just keeps getting infected the entire time.
Well, we couldn't possibly afford to go get some bandages, except for that we had millions of dollars in briefcases.
Yeah.
Exactly. God damn it. What pisses me off is this movie came out in 1990. Jurassic Park was 3 years later. You need to tell me somehow, in less than 2 years and 9 months between this movie and Jurassic Park, fucking the makeup effects and visual effects somehow just hit an evolutionary leapfrog.
To be fair, Stan Winston did a lot of the fucking makeup in Jurassic Park, and...
Yeah, but Carnosaur came out the same year as Jurassic Park, and it was infinitely better.
It's true, he's got you there. They probably had the same budget, too.
Yeah, you're also looking at a Steven Spielberg flick up against a Sam Raimi flick, so your budget is going to be Universal.
Yeah, let's compare apples to apples.
Universal did do this fucking movie though, so it's like Universal.
Yeah, but it's like this is like his training wheels movie.
Right, exactly.
16 million. 16 million. You couldn't get one fucking competent person to go, hey, you think maybe we should make the makeup look the same every time we see his fucking face?
No, because then
No.
Bruce Campbell was probably a producer, and he kicked the door in and fucking knocked that guy out with his chin, and he's like, "Let's do it, hoaxy or hokey."
Hoaxy?
Yeah.
I like that.
Both.
You know, like that guy, Banksy.
Hoaxy.
Hoaxy.
He just spray paints conspiracy theories on the wall.
Terrible knockoff sidekick.
Okay, so now Larry Drake's character and Darkman run into each other, and they both look the same. So then there's a, oh, who is it?
Oh, I don't know which one to shoot. Shoot him. No, shoot him.
How many fucking times in your life have you seen that exact same thing? In cartoons, comics, movies, books, whatever, just in media in general.
I've seen
How
it
many
all
fucking
the time.
How many? Like 100 at least.
It's
At
one-
least 100 times.
It's one of those cliches that somebody invented somewhere along the line, and then everyone else just, for whatever reason, it's just the greatest. They're like, oh my god, that's so perfect, I'm putting that in my movie too. It's like, really? No? Like, it's very silly, and it always looks silly, and it always seems really stupid. And then you put it in your movie, and they're also doing the trope where they run through the revolving door, so that's always good.
I'm surprised that we just didn't see a real fast motion of the revolving door, and then
And then one of them just disappears out, and then the other one's just gone. It's Scooby-Doo.
Really, I think one of my favorite parts of the movie is directly after this, when he's meeting up with his girlfriend to go to the fair, and then they play a fair game, and it turns out that it's not fair.
Yeah, it's not.
He has Darkman rage that's completely inappropriate.
Yeah. Because
maybe that's where all the money he stole went. Because you know it costs a fucking fortune to win one of those.
well, not only that,
Well, he
but
still didn't win, just being fair.
Liam Neeson's character is just stupid at number one, and presuming that the fucking carny is not going to be a piece of shit. So
Well, he's a supervillain now. Like, he has no filter for his rage. It directly goes to his brain in that it overwhelms him completely.
So I'm sure that marriage
it's
is going
only-
to turn out really good.
Yeah, it's like,
Oh, honey, I brought home
Oh.
Chinese tonight. I wanted Italian!
you
Punches-
bitch! And he just punches her through the wall, and it's like, Well, I guess we'll have to replace that wall.
Not tonight, honey. I have a headache. Fuck you.
I'm really sorry about your face. I'll 3D print you a new one.
That's really fucked up.
I'm really sorry. No, I'm going even further. I'm really sorry about our baby, honey. I'll print us a new one.
Print us a new baby.
This baby just won't shut the fuck up.
Oh.
He has the Darkman rage and he just starts shaking. The little kid starts looking like Michael J. Fox on that day.
Oh, just replace the scene where he throws the where he throws the carny through the fucking wall.
Just replace that with a baby. And you have
Yeah, exactly. That's what his home life's gonna be
That's
like.
Darkman 2, man.
I really don't think it would ever get that far, though. She'd be so dead so quick.
Oh, yeah.
Like, they're just moving their stuff in, and she's like, oh no, turn the couch the other way. He's like, fuck you, I want to turn it my way! And then she's clobbered by a couch, and then...
Well, the camera needs to spin around, and her flames need to appear behind him. That's how you know that he's in a rage. You need to give him a space.
Exactly. The fucking... Well, not only that, but the scene started cracking, and like dark... Like,
really?
lights
One of
and
my
lightning.
favorite parts of the whole fucking thing.
So ridiculous.
I don't think we need to
Give me the fucking elephant. Isn't that what he says?
Yeah, he gets real violent, beats the dude's ass, and steals the elephant. She obviously doesn't want it anymore because he just whooped the fuck out of somebody
and then his
for
face
it.
starts bubbling, so he hides his face under
He's
the
like, don't
elephant.
look at my elephant face.
No, please, don't stop following me to my secret lair.
I'm only gonna run fast enough for you to catch up with me, but don't
Well, she
worry.
can follow the smoke trail either way.
Yeah, that's true.
I like how when he has the mask on and it's working perfectly, he walks normal. But the moment it starts bubbling, like he just has some psychosomatic injury that makes his leg all of a sudden go gimp.
Yeah, he turns into fucking Quasimodo.
Yeah.
He goes total freak walk.
Full freak walk.
Yeah. It's totally fucking Phantom of the Opera, man. Yeah. Like, it really is.
The end scene is the most worthless scene of the movie, besides the flying around on the helicopter for 20 minutes, which is just so fucking stupid.
Oh, yeah.
I don't even want to talk about it. It's so bad. But then there's the end scene where, for whatever reason, they decide they're going to have their final showdown in the highest part of the tallest building that's not finished, and just beams everywhere. Where apparently the main villain feels most at home.
Mm-hmm.
And they had to quickly make up that story. It's like, when I was a kid, I used to work like a construction worker up here. It's like, no, you didn't.
And now I'm rich.
But
that never happens.
Yeah. And the only part of the last 30 minutes of the movie that it's worth a damn is whenever the main bad guy gets a hold of this rail gun where he's like shooting rivets at him, and it's so badass.
Okay.
How fucking cool would it be to have that gun?
It would
was
be
a real
amazing,
gun.
but how fucking...
How fucking bullshit is it? Yeah, it's really
not only
bullshit.
that, but how fucking inaccurate is it?
Oh, I mean, it doesn't matter, though, because the bullets are like the size of your head.
Dude, he's standing a foot away from it, pointing it at his head, and it's just going pew, pew, off to the sides and shit.
He's not, he doesn't work up there normally. He doesn't know how to run this newfangled rivet gun machine.
Hold on, guys. I'm going to piss Philip off again real quick. And then what do we get?
You.
What do we get? A reprise of the bird hitting the lighter again in the warehouse.
Of course.
Wait, well, yeah, we
skipped
back
over
a little
that.
bit because they kidnapped the girlfriend.
Right.
Because she went to her boss, asked and said, complaining like, my boyfriend's kind of like a super villain now. What should I do? It's like, well, I'm the real villain, so...
It's like, also,
let's
don't
go
look on
kill
my
him.
desk right there. That's
Yeah.
where the memo is, so don't look. It's got the coffee stain that distinctively tells you this is the memo that was in the burning scientific lab.
So there's a big ambush and explosions at his secret lair.
Yeah.
And then the scene where he's dangling under the
on the
helicopter
hook with-
forever.
For who the hell knows how long.
And he blows up Durante.
Yeah.
Kevin
Or
Durant.
And
For 1 second, I thought they were going to try to pretend like he somehow survived that explosion.
Who?
you
Durant?
guess
Yeah.
what?
He does.
did.
He does
He's
survive.
in the
He's in the
sequel.
sequel. Both of them, I think. I think he's both in Darkman 2 and 3.
I know he's in
No, he's
two.
just in Darkman 2.
Oh, it's just-
Darkman 3 has someone I don't know.
Have you seen the sequels?
Yeah.
So mad.
Philip's
I'm so goddamn mad.
Okay, so they're on the top of the building, up in the fucking what do you call those? They're on the high steel.
Yeah.
As the guy keeps referring.
It's like a skyscraper, but it's only just the beams right now.
And he delivers the most overacting monologue ever. Look about you! It's all mine!
I'm so
Why?
rich!
Because I created it!
Like, well,
This is acting! I am a thespian!
it's like, don't worry. I know that you are completely uncomfortable on top of this skyscraper and you're really worried about falling off of it. So I'm not worried at all that I can just stand around and just give speeches and whatever. But I better not call you freak, because then you'll just be magically adept at it and just jumping around and have superpowers.
Because he wasn't mad about his girlfriend being taken
No, he
off.
wasn't pissed yet. You called me a freak. Over the line,
Then he went
bitch.
into straight Hulkamania mode, buddy.
Yeah.
Kidnapping my girl was a mild inconvenience, but shaming me on my appearance, oh, that's too far.
Nobody calls me a freak.
Yeah, exactly. You know, it's funny.
Anything else goes, though.
Bring back to your discussion about Gary Busey back in the Steven Seagal cast. Like, Durant gets the fuck blown up. The last thing he wants to do in the next movie is fuck with Darkman.
Yeah, move the fuck away. Change your name. Stop collecting fingers. Simple as that.
I think what happened was he comes back to life, and he's like, all right, who is Darkman? Is it still the Irishman with the huge cock? No, it's that weird bald guy from The Mummy. Oh, good, let's fuck him up.
So is Liam Neeson in the sequels?
No.
Oh, good.
No.
Well, then that means
And-
I for
And
sure
that's why
never
I
have to
said the
watch it.
bald weird guy from
Yeah.
The Mummy films.
And Sam Raimi doesn't do him either, obviously. He moved on to much better things like
Spider-Man 3.
Spider-Man 3.
Drag Me to Hell.
Actually, I don't know what was right after this one. What year did Army of Darkness come out? Was it in 92, wasn't it? I think Army of
It was after this?
I think Army of Darkness was after this, so it may have been that, like, he did actually go uphill, immediately after this.
1993, Army of Darkness was his next one.
Yep, I thought it was after this. So.
Well, what do you fucking know?
Wow, shit, that was all right. Never mind.
Oh, he did The Quick and the Dead also. Yeah, I forgot about that movie.
Yeah, I kind of wish I forgot about that one. Too.
I don't know. Is it as crazy as all of his other ones? Does anyone have a rage moment?
Doesn't Sharon Stone have a rage moment in that movie, Joel?
Yeah, she does. Who was Leonardo DiCaprio?
I gotta watch it now.
He fucking does.
Steven, I'm so sick of your fucking snake trying to escape. It was just 2 seconds ago. It was just poking its head out of the top
Likely
of that
story,
man.
Philip.
That's fine.
It just fell over. Fuck you.
The snake sticking its head out going, did someone mention something about penis shape? Who's interested?
I heard y'all talking about a fine-ass black mamba.
Oh my god.
Give me some of that chocolate.
You're the worst. Alright, can we just skip the other movie? Because it's like exponentially even more bad than Darkman. It's so much worse.
Before we change the subject, I thought it would be interesting to note that what was it? Yeah, it was a Fox Television in 1992 financed a 30-minute television pilot on this show in which Larry Drake returns as Durant. They kind of do a retcon and change it up, but there is floating out there an unaired television pilot for Darkman the series.
Why?
Well, thank God it was unaired. That's all I have to say.
There was also a short. Was that the one from 2012 you're talking about?
No, from 1992 is the one I'm talking about.
Well, it says there was a short in 2012 that was Darkman as well.
Probably was actually made.
Oh shit, I did not. Oh wow, okay. Oh, time to go find this shit on eBay.
Can we move on to Blankman now?
I can't think of a worse waste of your money.
What do you think about Darkman in general? Would you recommend it or not?
I liked it. Like, I had I had problems with it as a movie lover, but...
Oh, it's fucking absurd. But
Yeah.
I would actually recommend it too. I mean,
It's only an hour and 30 minutes, and that is like the saving grace of this movie. It's over with before you know it. There's enough things in it to like keep your attention if you are the kind of person that loves seeing things that are totally bullshit, which I kind of do for whatever reason.
I liked it for the thespian scenes.
Oh, you mean all the drawn out dialogue in places where you would never have dialogue.
It's just a joke.
Yeah.
It's not supposed to mean anything.
What about the? We didn't talk about the fake hand very much either. When he bends that dude's fingers backward, it's clearly just a fucking fake ass.
It was just an inflated glove.
That was the same freak out.
Yeah.
Love that freak out. It's like, I don't know how many times it's like, I'll be in public and I'll have the same thing happen in my mind. It's like all that spinning around shit and the fire and the cracking.
That's a little bit sociopath. Like,
that's some serious issues, and I'm not one to pass judgment. Maybe you should get some help, because if all of a sudden you're just like, someone's like, oh, excuse me, let me hold the door for you, and all of a sudden flames come up around you and you're like, oh,
I'll close your door.
I don't follow up on it.
Well, that's good.
So, yeah, take that, Darkman.
He said yeah.
It's called self-control, and I've got
That's what every serial killer says. It always started out with just thoughts.
Well,
and you needed more.
Yeah, but DeHart has his DeHart can still feel pain, so that's the difference.
Yeah, as soon as he's in the burn ward of doom, of whatever the fuck that place was, she's like, excuse me, I'm in charge here. I'm the only one allowed to turn people into superheroes, villains, or whatever.
My main fear one day now, after you telling me this, DeHart, is that we're going to find out through the news. We're going to find out that you killed yourself in a wash basin in your backyard with written in blood on the wall, I've been a bad boy. And it's going to be like, I always wondered where DeHart got his collection of little shoes. And there's like skins, all children's splayed skins hanging up in your seat.
What?
And it's just going to be constant loop on CNN.
It wouldn't be a good podcast unless somebody got accused of being a pedophile.
Okay, let me clarify that my rage moments are pretty much exclusively
directed at adults.
Adults. Sometimes animals.
Stupid.
But the animal has to be a real asshole.
Like that squirrel that won't stop shitting on my car.
Dude, a fucking squirrel busted through my fucking ceiling at the place in Louisville.
Well, like you leave human skin,
He's like,
they of course are gonna know.
No, it was collecting. It was collecting nuts in my roof, and I guess
just got too many.
There was some like leaking over on one side, and it like poked its head in the hole one morning. Well, it made a hole first, and then it poked its head through. It's like, what the fuck?
Well, that's what you get.
Yeah, that's what you get for collecting nuts in your roof.
That's what you get for existing in this terrible fucking
Yes,
planet.
I did that. Okay, let's move on.
Yes, please. Okay, Blankman, directed by Mike Binder, who didn't do shit, really. Written by Damon Wayans. Stars Damon
Obviously.
Wayans. Stars David Alan Grier. And Jason Alexander.
Yes.
And Welfare Danny DeVito.
Yep,
Again.
Welfare Danny DeVito was back.
But I think you need to also know that the co-writer of this film also did, what was it? Under Siege 2 Dark.
Oh, Chain Reaction. Yes, he did. J.F. Lawton.
Pretty Woman.
Yep.
What the hell?
We talked about this guy during the Under Siege episode.
I guess a guy just does everything.
Yeah, that's what we said. We were like, I guess he does a little bit of everything.
I can't
Oh
remember
yeah,
things
he also
week to
directed
week.
and wrote the film Cannibal Women in the Avocado Jungle of Death.
Sounds
Why does it
awesome.
have to be avocados specifically?
Sounds awesome.
They're letting you know
I
which
think I
one.
found to stay tuned, ladies.
There's multiple jungles of death. You want the one with avocado in it.
I think that. I feel like there's probably not that many jungles of death. I mean,
They're all jungles of death. What are you talking about?
It's true.
Okay, before we start talking about this movie, I want to go ahead out there and just say I fucking hated this movie. It was one of the worst movies I've sat through, and it like made me just hate life sitting
It's not
through
one
this
of the
movie.
worst movies you've sat through. We watched Galaxina yesterday.
This was worse than Galaxina. This was fucking worse than Galaxina.
Galaxina was
Galaxina
really
yesterday.
fucking boring.
It was boring, but you know what? This was fucking awful. Like, Damon Wayans has just one of those faces and voices. Like, I liked him in Major Payne, and I liked him in Bulletproof with Adam Sandler. Like, those two movies were fine. Whatever. This movie sucked an ox's dick. A full-grown musk ox cock.
Musk ox? Is that a thing?
It is a thing. It's a very hairy cock, by the way.
Well, I assume.
I was discussing this with my little brother about asking him has he seen Blankman, and he described to me. You guys heard of Bill Hicks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, there's a routine he does about how people get famous. And I think what it is one day Damon Wayans walked into Satan's office and was just like, I would like to be famous. And Satan stood up and flopped his giant 3-headed dick on the table. And just like, I didn't bring this out for them to breathe. And Damon Wayans had to suck on Satan's pecker just to get this fucking movie. Take that scaly gullet down your throat. Come on.
Gullet!
That is my honest belief as to how this fucking movie got
And
made.
you better believe that
He
dick
was
was
like, I need my own movie. Dear Dark Lord, please allow me to make a movie. Satan shows up with nothing but a towel. Get to work, bitch.
Yeah, that's as good of explanation as anyone could come up with, because it's really... There's no way to figure out how this movie could have possibly been fucking made.
No. The only thing I remember David Alan Grier from, too, was Jumanji. He was the cop, Robin Williams' best friend in Jumanji.
Okay.
Dude,
That was like the
If
only
you say
thing.
so.
David Alan Grier is pretty fucking awesome, but it's like we can't really do much for this movie because he's a straight man.
Dude, for the first
You
half of the
know?
movie, I thought it was fucking LeVar Burton.
Are you shitting
Come
me?
on,
You weren't
come
watching
the
it.
Fuck on.
How the fuck? That's not cool. Don't insult Jordy like
It's
that.
not possible. Yeah, I was going to say, LeVar Burton is awesome. You do not
Dag
speak
is
ill.
awesome too. You don't say anything good that he's done
Dag.
because he's at it. He's
Let me
had
ref-
really shit luck with movies. I tell you,
LeVar Burton would have not been in this.
LeVar Burton wouldn't have been in a fucking movie that didn't have Star Trek in the title.
What about Reading Rainbow?
That's not a movie.
That's not a movie.
You don't know
Reading
that.
Rainbow, the movie. This time it's a really long book.
LeVar Burton reads Stephen King's It.
I don't think you guys have ever seen Reading Rainbow. It wasn't just LeVar Burton reading books.
Okay, so, DeHart, you go ahead and talk about the plot of this piece of shit.
Okay, you start off with two brothers who are watching Batman. One of them is kind of... He's like an oddball clever. Where he
Asperger's.
yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say savant.
where he rigs up a antenna system that's connected to the toilet that overflows the toilet because they have to flush it to make it come in properly, which it doesn't really even seem like it does that much difference.
And it wouldn't help anyway because it's totally bullshit. But then also, toilets don't just overflow when you flush them a lot.
Yep.
The water goes down the drain.
But
That's
anyway,
how toilets work.
Flash forward to the future, they're basically in the same situation. They're living at home.
With Grandma.
It's Grandma.
It's Grandma. We
So-
don't know where Mom and Dad are.
Nope.
They
no
were
explanation.
murdered by crackheads.
Or they were crackheads.
Maybe.
Which were murdered by
Hey,
other
we're gonna go out and get some cigarettes. We'll be back in a minute.
That might explain a little bit of Damon Wayans' problems.
Yeah.
But yeah, so he's like a large virgin.
He's a man-child for sure.
Yes,
Doesn't-
man-child. That's a perfect word.
Mhm.
And
I would have said retarded fuck, but you know.
David Alan Grier is he's kind of a genius too, but David Alan Grier is a cameraman at a kind of like a hard copy kind of.
He's a working man. Like, he goes to work every day and he
It
gets paid.
his boss is Jason Alexander, who is a ripoff of Larry Flint.
Yep. Oh, yeah, totally.
To the letter.
Yep. I even think Larry Flint had that shitty vest on, too.
He's dressed. He's
He's in a Larry Flint costume.
Yeah, pretty much.
in a wheelchair.
Yep.
That was the costume.
That's the bottom half of the costume.
Oh shit! Next year, for Halloween, you go as Larry Flint, and I'll go as the wheelchair.
So you're just gonna sit in your lap all night long.
I was like, we can go as that tonight if you want, Philip.
That sounds good.
And
I got nothing.
somehow or other, Damon Wayans accidentally bulletproofs himself.
Just with
And-
random chemicals in his pretend lab.
There you go. That's a movie.
I mean, yeah. His grandma gets killed, too, by shitty Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
His
Danny
grandma
DeVito
gets
comes-
killed to buy the election for Danny DeVito knockoff.
Yeah, he wants to come in. It's like, hey, I publicly want to make a lot of bribes. Who do I talk to?
He's the worst.
You can't be doing that here. Get the fuck out. It's like, oh yeah, well, we'll see about that.
What is with all
Winks
these
to
movies?
everyone, comes back a day later and shoots 5 people.
Yeah, what's with all these movies and the villains are just like yelling their plans out to the world? I'm gonna murder everyone and steal a lot of money. Hope no one knows it's me.
It's a classic like movie trope that villains always give away their like plot, but usually it's at the end of the movie,
Right
after
before they're gonna kill
right
the bad
after
the good
they already
guy.
have the good guy in
Yes.
shackles or whatever.
When they're in the James Bond situation.
Right.
No, I expect you to die.
I expect you to die.
But not in the 5 minutes into the movie section where there's a group
Walk
of
into
people.
a crowded room and just yell your plot.
Yeah. That's like going into a bank filled with people and be like, next Tuesday I'm gonna rob this motherfucker. Hope there's no one here to stop me.
I'll be here. I won't be in costume, and I have no real plan.
It's Kevin McAllister yelling at Buzz.
Yeah,
Hope you don't come out and pound me.
Yeah. Except for he hasn't actually
that one.
wished away his family. These are a group of people that are really there.
Yeah.
Did they ever make a porn parody of Home Alone? I hope you don't come out and pound.
Which is great because you just did an impression of the fucking soundtrack for this movie.
Oh yeah, it's really bad.
Yeah.
It's like 90s Boys to Men and fucking who is that other guy? Brian McKnight and shit like that.
I honestly, the beginning of the movie with the music, that part, I was like, it reminded me of the first porn I'd ever watched, which is like this 70s film I found on the VHS tape. I was like, ooh, what's this? The movie was inconsequential. For some reason, the music just sort of stuck with me.
It's easy to remember music.
It
That's
probably
why we have songs for all of our
I
things
feel
that
like
we
it
have to remember.
probably looked like a Bigfoot found footage tape too.
Similar.
Yeah.
A little bit. Some from the 70s. A lot of Bush.
Is Afro cunt. That's what it was.
I think Afro cunts.
I did it. I got DeHart to go.
This is just exhausted. Just
Oh,
God.
which is kind of like the noises that fucking Damon Wayans makes in this movie throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
Dude.
Is he just randomly coming?
That's what I was
He
saying.
literally
There-
is in two
there-
different scenes.
well,
he
no.
jizzes his pants.
There's like 3 different scenes because the first
Oh,
one
yeah,
is where
that's right.
it's like after they deliver the baby, it's like he's coming up and it's like everybody's there to greet him. It's like, hey, what's the guy's name? It's like, he doesn't really have a name. He's kind of drawing a blank man as Blankman. That's a great name. He's like, Blankman.
Yeah, it's
Why does everything make him jizz? It's like the fucking... What is that song? Jizz in my pants.
yeah.
Because
Also,
What's that song where they talk about how they jizz in their pants? Jizz in my pants? No, that ain't it.
it's like I don't think he has
Is
any
that
sexual
wrecking ball?
understanding
That's
at all.
it, yeah.
yeah, I'm sure that any kind of relationship after this point would just be really good. I'm sure it would be really, really awesome and exciting.
Well, I mean, he doesn't understand anything. It's like in the shrink's office because he gets arrested, and the judge tells him to go see his shrink. It's like he's going through. It's like he's naming like absurd things for these ink blotches, and then there's just a drawing of tits.
And a pussy too, basically.
No.
The one he held up next to it was supposed to be a vagina. Like it was,
It's an ink blotch.
yeah, but
But this one
They
was,
all look like
it's a
vaginas.
fucking
Right.
drawing.
Spoiler alert.
That's the nature of ink blot.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
But this one is just—it's not an ink blot. It's a fucking drawing.
It's a literally
Very
line drawing
clear
of
drawing.
tits. It is symmetrical,
It's
so...
like, if he's supposed to be a fucking genius, you think he would have seen at least tits in the fucking National Geographic? You know?
He's not a genius. He just knows how to put things together so that they kind of work
He's
a
a
little bit.
mechanical genius.
well, and he also, whenever that chick's getting ready to have a baby, he goes, "Ew, I have to see her thing."
And then he lifts up her dress. Oh, it's so ugly! He's
Yeah.
like so disgusted.
Oh God, I got nothing.
it seems
God,
like
fuck this movie. Fucking goddamn
Dude,
it.
I just want to tell you that
Agreed.
I just want to say that the recommendation on the case or on the poster or whatever it is says a heartfelt comedy that's falling down funny. The Kansas City Star. Man, really?
They had to go to Kansas City to find a magazine that would bother to print a review of this, let alone a positive one.
okay. Well, I seem to remember a couple of laughs in there, but I cannot remember anything.
There was one thing that I thought was really funny, where he had the speculum of life, which was just a souped up speculum. Why would he know what a speculum was and not have ever seen a vagina or boobs?
Yeah.
And I don't know. Is there a possibility of using those during a childbirth?
Yeah, you have the speculum of life, but you don't want to use it for what it's for.
You only use it on doors.
To open doors that obviously are clearly separated enough that you can just grab with your hands and do that.
Yeah, because he later, as soon as it's open, just the tiniest crack, he just does that, and they just.
Yep.
And I guess we have to just try the plunger like grappling hook thing because
No, that would never work.
it's in
you'll
so
die.
many things.
It would
though.
die.
It would never, ever, 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 ever work. It would never work.
I know.
Are you sure? 'Cause I don't think you're. I don't think you're really.
You don't think I'm really
confident
getting
about
it
what you're
across?
saying here.
Well, let me just express it a different way. It would never fucking work, obviously.
Why is it in so many things? I don't understand.
Why is the villain giving away the plot in so many things? Why is the fucking thing where people, they're doubles and they're like, shoot that guy? It's like, who knows why? Because idiots love it, apparently.
I think, ideally, if there's two of you, this is kind of going backwards, but if there's two of you, you'd say, please don't shoot either of us. Let's get this sorted out and then shoot the one who's not real.
Yeah.
Well, the one who is real doesn't want you to do that.
That's why if you're a villain, you always have a secret question with your henchmen.
Yeah, it's like, okay, well, what's the secret word? He's like, banana pudding, and then they just shoot the other guy.
Oh, wait, so basically you're describing a bondage safe word?
Yeah, basically.
Yeah.
What's the safe word? Oxytonic pill.
They just mow down the other guy. Dude, brilliant. That'd be a brilliant movie. I'm so mad that we just didn't watch Meteor Man again.
Yeah, it would have been way better. But it's a way better movie, so it's like, what are you going to do?
Okay, let's see. We got Robin Givens in there. Why does she fall in love with Blankman? I mean, I know he's trying to help out, but he's clearly not, mentally capable. Why?
Because she was traumatized as a child, and now, as a result, she has the inability to choose men that are worth a damn. Same way that people always choose people that will abuse them, this woman always chooses people that jizz in their pants when they get kissed.
Hey, saves her a lot of trouble.
It does.
You know?
Yep.
And he had a cool lab.
Yeah, he does have a sweet lab. It's like you live in another world. It's like, yeah, he lives on another world where everyone is fucking crazy and stupid.
Alright, what about Welfare Johnny 5, who was named J5?
Yeah, J5.
God damn it! I
I
saw
didn't even
that
fuse that
shit.
together.
My brain just went. Oh God! Fucking damn it! It's like this movie was designed all those years ago to be like, there's going to be this 33-year-old dude living in southern Indiana, and when he finally watches this fucking movie, he's going to have an aneurysm at least 7 or 8 times from the stupid shit we're putting in there. It's like they're fucking wizards that make my hatred boil. Fucking goddamn J5? Why don't you just say unoriginal twat?
Well, dude, he was essentially R2-D2, and that's where my brain was going the whole time that I was looking at him, because he's a can that rolls
It
around.
went straight to Johnny 5 for me because of...
Well,
Well,
Clearly-
first of all, he has flashlights for eyes, which
Yeah.
is kind of the Johnny 5
and Johnny
thing.
5 was a bomb
Yeah, he was specific.
disassember.
Well, he wasn't. He was actually an attack robot.
I thought he was made to take...
Disassemble bombs.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
No,
I
this
don't
is
remember.
about.
It's been a long time since I've seen Short Circuit. But
He had a
either way-
crazy laser cannon that would literally destroy anything.
That's right. Yeah.
Once again, ignoring the obvious technology that you just, for whatever reason, won't use anywhere else except for on the crazy robot that has its own fucking identity.
Is that the laser that can cause earthquakes in the sky?
No. That's a different laser, equally bullshit. This laser can literally, it has an infinite number of strength settings, and it can just blow up anything from a tank to just like chopping down a tree, anything at all, anything you want.
Okay, meanwhile, our candidate that Granny had worked for, he is elected, but as soon as he gets in, same old shit, because the rest of the system's corrupt, man. It's not him.
Well, no, he had, literally, they went in, they shot his grandma and 2 other people that were working there, stole all of his campaign money, so he had to take the money from the
They stole the checks, too.
Yeah,
Like,
well,
what are they gonna...
they just didn't want the
want him
money.
to have
They
it.
just wanted him to have to go to them for money
Right.
in order to win the campaign, which he just automatically does. It's like, oh, so corruptness, which I've been fighting against, causes everyone in my campaign to get shot down. Well, I guess I'll just have to get that money some way or another.
And then he...
He's basically the worst guy ever, and I'm so fucking glad he gets exploded.
Oh, yeah. He does get exploded.
He's like, no, you've done enough. And they, like, turn the bomb off.
It's like,
oh,
okay.
there's a second bomb. Run away.
There's more than a second bomb. There's a second
satchel
bag
of bombs.
that's full of bombs.
There was, like, more death in this movie than a Batman movie.
Than you would think, yeah.
Well, a Christian Bale Batman movie, not a Michael Keaton Batman movie where he just decides to mow everybody down with machine guns from his bat jet or whatever.
Yeah, that's a pretty good scene.
They were all bad.
Yeah, but they were all bad. I really want you to get that audio clip and we can just cue that up. I want to use it so much.
I mean, it's perfect for the hero kills the bad guys.
Yeah, but they were all bad. But seriously, fuck this movie.
Yeah, don't ever watch Blankman. I knew it was going to be terrible. And somehow we ended up on it. I don't really know why. I guess because it sounds like Darkman. I mean,
essentially, it's just a naming thing.
Yeah.
Well, and it's a terrible fucking superhero.
Yeah.
Right, but Darkman, by comparison to this, Darkman is the greatest movie ever made.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
This is shit! This is how they disassemble the bomb at the end. They don't. They just put it inside the trash can robot, and then it blows up, and they have a somewhat heartfelt, no, J5, you died.
Not to mention it's the teeniest explosion ever, by the way.
And
the teeniest!
Well, it's because he had him in bomb disposal mode. Because he has an infinite number of cartridge tapes that puts him into another mode.
It's actually a Sega. It's a Sega, because, it's a Sega, I don't even know what to call it.
I'm pretty sure that...
Cartridge.
Was it really?
Yeah.
It looked kind of like an
pointed
8-track.
It was a fucking Sega thing.
Oh my god.
That's the worst.
But anyway.
They just put a different label on a Sega. Maybe he didn't even do that. Maybe they just took a random...
Like, earlier, you kind of misspoke. You said that he disposed of the bomb. Again, this time it's an entire bag of bombs.
Yeah.
He's able to take all of them. And like, no problem.
What also doesn't make sense in this movie, and the pimp brings it up earlier, the pimp Biff brings it up earlier when he's just like, yeah, I'm going to shoot him in the head. It's like, this mob does not give a fuck about killing people. They already killed old ladies and, like, whoever else. You know, when you kill an old lady, when you kill grandma, it's pretty clear you don't give a fuck who you're going to kill.
She was asking for
Yeah.
Not only that, they're just like, well, Fratelli or whatever his name, I don't remember, the Italian...
We'll just call him Fratelli.
Yeah. Fratelli sends his regards and then just shoots everybody with a fucking Uzi.
His name's Manelli, by the way.
Manelli, my bad. You're fucking close enough.
But yeah.
Welfare Danny DeVito sends his regards.
Yeah, so why the fuck did he, like, in the bank, wasn't he just like, oh, fuck it. Okay, bye, Damon Williams. Blew your fucking brains out.
Once again, we're dealing with the dumbest villains possible. These are only slightly dumber than the Darkman villains, which are very, very dumb.
They look like fucking Mensa candidates in comparison to the fucking guys off. Oh.
Yeah.
I've been quiet during fucking Blankman because I'm gonna go over the same fucking things over and over again about how someone had to suck a dick to get this fucking goddamn miserable fucking movie made. I couldn't do it. I had to stop. This movie took 3 days. 3 days for me to get through. Darkman was 90 minutes. It felt like it was an hour. It got in, out, done. Sure, shitty special effects, way overacting, lots of what the fuckery. But Blankman felt like fucking... I just watched all the fucking Lord of the Rings films, the extended versions, in a row while someone is fucking taking their fist and shoving it up my film-watching ass.
I think I mentioned that to you, too. I was just like, this movie is so goddamn long. Like,
it was only an hour and a half. It was the same length.
It's bullshit, though, because it's like, after something you think is going to end the movie happens, you're like, nope, next scene.
This movie breaks the laws of time and space. I'm waiting all of a sudden for the TARDIS to show up in the background of the film going, I'm so sorry about this, let me fix it. God damn it, fuck.
The movie's bigger on the inside.
Yeah.
Okay, so Jason Alexander basically sets up the last act of the movie where it's like, okay, this is a girlfriend, grab her, you'll be able to get Blankman, but he gets strung up too by the chair.
Yeah.
And
that was so fucking stupid.
David Allen Greer and Damon Wayans, they show up, in costume.
That they bought at the Dollar Tree.
Where, yeah, essentially. But it's like, Damon Wayans never bothered to make what he was calling Karate Man and became Other Guy. He never bothered to make his costume bulletproof.
Yeah, that's shitty.
Was there a fucking shortage on the shit?
He had a bathtub of it.
Yeah.
I know.
A fucking whole bathtub, and he made the suits at the exact same time.
You know what? I would have fucking bulletproofed every goddamn thing that I owned.
Not only
Yeah.
that, but I would have found a fucking ski mask or something to at least cover up some of my fucking head.
Yeah. Or maybe just dip my head in that liquid.
He is the dumbest fucking genius that ever existed.
Why not just dip his head in the liquid?
Fucking
shit.
Achilles stop. Fucking 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 Achilles